He's gonna be the best Boreas conduct unit, a meta in friggin' Abyss, and he's gonna be good in so many other areas. Why did they make him this strong? Hey guys, I'm very excited to bring you 3 brand new heroes that will be coming to the game pretty damn soon. Talin, we have a date, which is going to be next week. And then there is also another legendary, which is incredibly good, which will most likely be next month. And then we also have an epic. Lots of things to cover, and these units are all very unique, very interesting, and in a couple of them, they're very good. So I'm going to be going through their kits. As you can see, they are grayed out, which means I don't have them for testing. I assume it'll be a little bit later down the line. A little annoying that we don't have them to test immediately, but that's okay. This is going to be a kit review for all of them, where I think they'll be good, all of that stuff. So let's start with Talin. Test server is a bit laggy, so sorry if anything is a bit choppy. Obviously, it won't be like that on global, and this is also low graphics, so it will look better once we get to global. But basically, we start with Talin, and Talin is so interesting. She is the first character ever to be added to the game, which can be placed on platforms and ground. I'm sure many of us had this idea a very long time ago, that a unit that does that would be pretty cool. And she is the first. As you can see, she looks like a girl. She has a slingshot. Pretty cool design, I will say. But I'm not going to read it yet. I'm just here to show you guys. As you can see in the top left, this is her using her ultimate on a platform, which is cool. You know, she tosses slingshot bullets. And here is her when you place her on the ground. She is a bear. So she's 2 units in one. One is a ground defender type of unit, and one is a marksman that does magic damage. So she also does physical and magic damage depending on what place you put her in. Really cool. Lots of strategy can be used off of this. I'm excited for her. She is Watcher Piercer, marksman that does magic damage, and I don't know if she qualifies as a defender. I think she still qualifies as a marksman on the ground, but you'll see that doesn't matter a bit later. She has single target attack, multi-target attack, defense penetration, hard control. Her talent increases attack by 15% in battle, can be deployed on both platform and ground tiles. When deployed on ground tiles, the hero transforms into Berserker stance, which I'll read that in a second. And her redeployment time is 45 seconds, not 60 seconds, which is amazing. It allows you to move her around a lot, which is really cool. I thought that this type of archetype would be more for, you know, the new class that was kind of been talked about a little bit, but it turns out that this is just a marksman, right? Which is really cool. The Berserker stance is where it gets a little confusing. So let me go over her stats normally before I talk about the swap. Her base stats are the same on both forms, right? 13,000 HP is a lot. This is because she needs it for her ground form as well as her marksman form, so they just increase her HP. Her attack is 4,300, which is above average for marksman. You know, pretty normal defenses. 16 cost is very cheap. 2.0 attack interval, obviously marksman. That is the baseline. Lots of rage. That is her base stats. Berserker stance, on the other hand, reduces her attack range to, I think, 1 tile, and her attack speed. Attacks then deal AoE physical damage to enemies in range, increases her block by 3 to a total of 4, which is why I think she's more of a defender, because this is the block that a defender with Batch Ring would be. And then it also increases her max HP by 100%, aka double. Converts 80% of her attack to defense, and attacks have a 20% chance to inflict 10% vulnerability, physical damage, and she can't hit air when she's in her bear form. So her bear form basically becomes more tanky with the attack. I don't know if it does damage based off of defense or, you know, if it's off of attack. So I'm not sure if it'll do damage or not do damage. It's really a hero that has to be tested. I just can't test her. But it's an AoE physical damage that also puts vulnerability, which is really cool. Now, going over the rest of the kit, marksman range, she's not promoted, so it won't show. 120% damage to one enemy on her main attack. Her passive, first passive, every 8 attacks when skilled. Launch. Every 8 attacks that are launched, sorry. The next attack deals 480% damage, which is a lot, and dispels a buff on the target. She is the 4th debuff dispeller or buff dispeller in the game, which is really good. Lucius, Lyra, all of these units for Samra, amazing. When the ultimate is activated, this effect is guaranteed to be triggered one time. While in Berserker stance, also known as her bear form, this effect is instead replaced with attack has a 15% chance to trigger Ground Stomp, which does 340% AoE physical damage to 5 enemy targets within 2 rows ahead, knocks them back, and during the ultimate, the damage range expands and inflicts stun on his target. Will she be good in GVG? I don't freaking know, but this is a very, very cool ability. The second kind of passive, this one's an auto attack. When deployed, it gains 1 stack of Thorned Shield. Every 15 seconds, oh, it was Thorned Shield, by the way, increases attack by 2% and defense by 2%. All stacks are preserved after redeployment. She has less redeployment time. She has 2 different forms that you have to pull her and place her back to activate. So this is one of the only stack abilities or the only buff abilities in the game, which is permanent after redeployment. One of the only ones, maybe even the only one. She's such a unique hero. Increases attack and defense by 2%. Up to 10 stacks, 15 when skilled. Every 15 seconds, she will gain it. And each time Nature's Fury is triggered, which is, where's Nature's Fury? Nature's Fury is every 10 attacks. Anyways, every time it's triggered, it also reduces this cooldown by 5 seconds. While she's in Berserker stance, this effect is replaced with reduces cooldown by 1 second for every 1 time healed, which is interesting. Now moving on to the ultimate, we get this. It is 800 cost, lasts for 20 seconds. When activated, reduces attack interval by 40%, and attack ignores 60% magic resistance, which is insane. While in Berserker stance, this effect is replaced with increases attack by 40%, all damage reductions by 20%, dispels a debuff from this hero every 5 seconds, and when taking direct damage, restores 5% of their max HP for the hero and adjacent allies, which is really cool. It's like a little bit of a heal. Reduced damage is always good. Really good ultimate. Going on to the Awakenings, the A1 for every stack of Thorn Shield increases damage by an extra 2%, stacks up to 15%. You're getting 30% attack, 30% defense, and 30% more damage. Insane, insane, insane at full stacks. A2 is more base attack, which is really good. A3, oh, this also in her bear form will increase her defense because it transfers over. Really good. Her A3 is on her auto, increases initial rage by 300. That's not part of her auto, that's just getting more initial rage. And also increases the stack cap of Thorn Shield by 5. So basically she gets 40% attack, 40% defense, 40% damage, gains 2 stacks of Thorn Shield with every ultimate cast, builds it up even faster. Really good A3. A4 penetration plus 8%, best A4 to have. Awaken 5 is also for the auto. For every 1 stack of Thorn Shield, reduces the hero's AoE damage taken by 1%, basically up to 20%, because the A3 gives extra 5 stack cap up to 20%, or yeah, 20% AoE damage taken. When Thorn Shield reaches full stacks, the hero survives when receiving fatal damage for the first time. After each deployment, restores 50% HP. Its potential viability in GVG, but realistically that's not going to happen because each deployment she doesn't seem like she's actually going to be a tank. That's mostly like a Semra A5, but at that point you don't need the A5. So do I think she'll be good? I think there's a lot of potential in non-traditional content. I think she will be good in places that are not boss content. She'll be good in Semra because of that dispel, and if she happens to do a shitload of damage, she will be good. But I don't think that's what she's for. I think she's there for versatility, being 2 units in 1. Like, even more than Ingrid being 2 units in 1. She's actually 2 units in 1. I think she'll be good in stuff like the tower mode, which is going to be coming. I think she will be good in a new campaign, whenever they release that. I think she will be good in more of that content. She could probably be used pretty well in some other areas, but that's where I think she will be the most versatile in stuff like that. Do I think she's a must pull? No. Do I think she's very cool and am I very excited for a new hero? with a very unique design? Absolutely. I did not mean to click on Eunomia. Let's go over to the next hero, which is going to be the epic, saving the best for last, the potential limited, but probably not a limited for last. Let's go over to Faelin. Faelin is a epic for the esotericist. She looks almost identical to Kalina, just with a different headpiece and a different staff, but that didn't really matter because it is an epic. She looks kind of pasty. I don't like that, but the design is cool enough. Basically, she's a poisoner. Multi-target attack, ally buff, continuous damage, Ajax range, which is weird. And she's a poisoner, basically. That's all she's there for. I feel like they're trying to bring themselves up to releasing Numera, which is a hero that benefits off of poisons. Just currently, there's not really that many good poisoners in the game. First of all, Talin. When inflicting poison on enemies, which poison stacks up to 10 times, does continuous magic damage, magic resistance reduction 20% will also be inflicted, which is really good. A1, AoE damage up to 5 enemy targets, crouch range once again. Let's go over to the first passive. When an enemy inflicted with poison by this hero dies, it does 250% AoE damage one time to up to 8 surrounding enemies, does a bit of extra damage. Her ult is only 200 cost, it ends very, very fast. Deals 100% damage 5 times in total to random enemies within a short time, inflicting 1 stack of poison with each hit. 5 stacks of poison total. She gets this ability constantly. She's also 21 cost, which is expensive. Her stats are low. I mean, she's an epic. You can look at the stats if you would like. The Awakening's A1 ultimate has a 30% chance to immediately restore half of its rage upon use. It's already coming back crazy fast. It's going to get even crazier. And also keep in mind, she's an esotericist, so if you have her with the Lord, she will get it even faster, which is crazy. A2 is more attack. A3, the AoE damage from Structural Rot, which is when they die, it does an AoE damage. Inflicts slow on affected enemies as well. A4, extra rage regen as if she needed it. This is an epic, so we're always going to have the A5 really easy. A5, when Spectral Rot is triggered, inflicts an extra stack of poison on affected enemies. So when the enemy explodes, puts more poison. Her ult puts a ton of poison. Poison makes magic damage, deal more damage. She has really good poison synergy. I like that they are going towards poisons a little bit. Like I said, I think they're going to gear up to releasing Numera, but they have to release more poisoners or Numera is going to be hot dog shit. So that's clearly what they're trying to do. That is Faelin, the second hero. Now we get to the third hero, which is Malrik. Do I think he's a limited? Not anymore, but he had a skin button previously, and I really thought he was a limited. But let's just say he's on a banner with someone, so it's unlikely. Either way, Malrik is really freaking good, man. He's so good. This is Malrik, easily the most exciting hero here. He is Infernal Esotericist, and he absolutely is the first Abyss unit. Seems to have some really good GVG viability as well, which I will go into. Will he be meta? Who knows? I can't test him yet. Anyways, he is another one of those 2 units in one, similar to INGRID, where he can do single target and multi-target attacks. He also ally buffs and hard controls. He is crazy. I'm not out overhyping him, he just is. Stat-wise, he has a respectable amount of HP, pretty average. His attack is above average for a mage. 19 cost, 2.6 attack interval, which is normal. Normal rage regen stats for new units. The hero gains 20% damage increase from the talent. This is just all the time. And he also grants Wizard's Rune to the next hero deployed in attack range. This is functionally a better form of invigoration, and I have asked, it is confirmed to stack with invigoration. This is its own buff. It increases the attack, defense, and HP of the rune bearer by 10%. You can put this on a tank, make him tankier, or you put this on a DPS, make him do more damage. This effect can stack with other effects. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per deployment, obviously, only for 1 unit. When Wizard's Rune is granted to an allied platform hero, Malrik's fire form will be replaced with frost form. The way this makes it is you cannot put this on a platform unit for Abyss. Has to be a ground unit, but ground units are like Wukong Pharisee, or not Pharisee, Wukong Kagiri, you know, Lord Phineas. So this is actually better this way. But basically, depending on how you put this out, who you put this out, Malrik will swap. Malrik's fire form is a single target magic damage, and Frost's form reduces his damage, but converts all his attacks to AoE, right? All of his abilities, as you can see by their icons, are different depending on what form he's in. His A1, keep in mind his range is a piercer range, which is crazy. One of the only marksmen like that, or not marksmen, mages like that. The A1 does 120% damage one time to one enemy in range. If it is Frost form, it will do AoE damage. Moving on, we have Elemental Covenant. This is literally just copy paste from INGRID, which is crazy. While in the same form, every 5 basic attacks trigger Fire Blast or Ice Storm one time. Fire Blast deals with the skill ups 400% damage one time to one enemy in range and burns them. Really good synergy with Sulcanins. Or if he's in the AoE form, Ice Storm. Ice Storm will do 45% AoE damage one time per second to the target and 5 surrounding enemies, so 6 enemies for 4 seconds, with a 50% chance of each hit to inflict Winter's Bite. I think it's each hit, might not be each hit, but Winter's Bite is insane. It slows and then it freezes once you slow enough. It's the best CC ability in the game, and he does AoE damage. This is an insane ability. It also, a benefit above INGRID, if no basic attack is launched for 5 seconds, the next attack is guaranteed to trigger this effect. Imagine if INGRID's beam, you couldn't manipulate it, because if you leave her for any time, she just does it the second the enemy gets there. Really, really good there. Rune Mastery is the second passive. When casting the ultimate, restores 10% rage to heroes granted with Wizard's Rune. He also gives rage to the one unit that he's boosting. It also permanently increases the hero's attack by 3%, 5% when skilled. This attack increase can be gained up to 5 times every single battle. It says every single battle, so it might be if you sell him, you put him back down, maybe he can't gain it anymore, or it holds the stacks. I don't know how that'll work. But basically, you can get 25% more attack on him over time. That is stupid. If no one is granted with the runes, he will restore 10% rage for himself. That's insane. Imagine GVG, where he's boosting Brokir, for example. Brokir is already hard to kill when Lily's on the field. He is doing CC, crowd control, getting better attacks every time he attacks, or you leave him alone. Restoring rage for the Brokir, making it harder to kill him. It's stupid. Or he does it to a platform unit. But you don't really want to do that because of fire form. But it's just like, it's so dumb, right? And we haven't even talked about his ultimate. 700 cost, very cheap, 20 seconds long. When the ultimate is activated, increases the hero's attack by 30%, like he needed it. 20 seconds. During this time, transforms the basic attack into Fireball or Blizzard. This is a different attack. It's not even the burst mode here. That's different. Instead, it makes it so Fireball is 80 damage to one enemy in range 3 times. Each hit inflicts burning. 3 stacks of burning every single time he attacks. That is like 100 stacks of fucking burning. Why? Who needs that? That's so dumb. He's gonna be the best. He's gonna be the best Boreas Codex unit. He's gonna be insanely good for freaking Abyss because he does actual damage and he does insane burning. So he's like a Nigh and any other magic DPS. Crazy. Blizzard, every basic attack does 120% AoE damage one time to up to 5 enemies in range and inflicts Winter's Bite. Oh my god, this guy is stupid. And he's stacking up his attack over time. And he has this freaking thing where his basic attacks are insanely strong as well, even outside of his ultimate. He has 2 forms. He has Invig on crack, increasing attack, defense, and HP. And he's freaking giving them rage 10% every time he uses his ultimate. What the hell, man? Why is it so good? And we haven't talked about the Awakenings, which make him so much better. A1 makes his passive Elemental Covenant Enhanced. Fire Blast deals 60% extra increased damage and inflicts vulnerability. This is the burst. Does 400% damage when skilled. 460% when you have his A1. Inflicts magic vulnerability. Sure, it's only 10%, but this is 100% uptime almost. Or maybe it is 100%. We can't test them yet. But either way, that reads like crazy. Ice Storm. You know, we read it earlier. Deals AoE damage. Is 45% when skilled. 1 time per second. You know, 5 surrounding enemies. Winter's Bite. It also just immediately freezes the enemy. So it freezes them, puts Winter's Bite, which slows them. And then when Winter's Bite ends up fully proccing, it freezes them again. It reduces the damage interval by 0.3 seconds as well. So it damages them more often. And it also increases the chance to inflict Winter's Bite to 70%, not 50%. What the fuck? You need his A1, basically. I really hope he's strong and that me reacting like this is not an overreaction. Obviously, we'll have to test him. But what the hell, man? You need his A1, 100%. More base attack on the A2, like he needed it. A3 increases the speed boost gained from attack speed by 20%. Attack speed is better. This is one of the first times this has ever happened. This just makes him attack faster. And you want to know what happens when you attack faster? Trigger this broken ass INGRID like blast ability type of thing. And you're getting more freezes. Instant freeze, then slow, then freeze. Why? Making it happen more often because the attack speed gets boosted more, and you don't have to build as much attack speed because he gains more from attack speed. I don't know. A4 penetration. A5, the hero. Oh, this one's so stupid. The hero gains an extra 10% damage increase. So instead of a 20% permanent damage increase, 30% damage increase permanently, all the time. Now here's the kicker. When either the hero or a hero dies with Wizard's Rune, this is the thing he gives on that changes how he swaps and also is like inspiration if it was better, or invigoration if it was better. He also applies Wizard's Incantation. Can anyone guess what this is? Can anyone guess why I thought this guy was a limited unit? And I still think he might be. It's like Wukong's A1. Prevents death 1 time when either they... No, not they. Prevents death 1 time when the carrier takes fatal damage. Dispels all debuffs on them. And restores 50% of their max HP. This is unyielding. He gives it to whoever's in his range. Solid for Abyss if you're struggling to live. But where I think this is going to be useful is GVG. Is he potentially going to be the most meta unit? No, I don't think so. But he has almost constant Winter's Bite. He freezes. His AoE form is a CC nightmare. Maybe it does damage. I don't know yet. But the fact is, he makes your tank stronger. So if you're building a team, like an INGRID Praetus team, or even just any other team, an ESO team, for example, and your tank is just not living, maybe that's how you're losing. You put him in, he does all the CC, and he will have another unyielding put on your tank, and he will buff them by 10% max HP, or not max HP, 10% HP, 10% defense. Why did they make him this way? He seems like he will be really fucking strong. I'm sorry for swearing, I really have to. This guy seems really good. He seems like one of the better units that has come out recently. I am very high on Malrik. Very high on Malrik. I think it's possible he's unlimited, mostly because there was a skin button here before when he was added to test server like 10 days ago. Crazy stuff there. But his factions are good. Infernal for Abyss, ESO for AoE content. Really good synergy there. We have single target that does a lot of damage, puts constant burns out, which buffs, you know, other Infernals. Then he has the multi-target attack, which CCs like crazy. He has invigoration, but better. Oh my god, is this an ability? Is this a hero? You wanted day 1. He's strong as hell. Obviously, like I've said multiple times, we have to test these heroes. We cannot test these heroes yet. I assume they will give us to us sometime in the next few days, and we will have videos out. But Malrik is the guy, and he's probably going to come next month. Do I think he's a new limited? I think he reads like it. It would be really dumb for him not to be, but I don't know anymore. So make sure you get him is all I'll say. He's not this month, but he will be soon. I love this freaking guy. So thanks for tuning into the video, I guess. Like, holy cow. It is dumb. And yeah, that's the character. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. Destined signing out.